welcome to Be Empowered Woman, the talk show. I'm your host, Nancy Rivera, and I'm so happy that you can join us today here. And I have a special guest. Her name is Lise Escobar, and we will be talking about healing through the art. Lise, hi, good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, Nancy. I'm so happy to have to be here with you today and with everybody to share everything about the healing arts, or what I like to call them expressive arts.
I love it. I just love to know that we can heal through the art. That sounds amazing. So tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, and how do you became a healing person, right? Through using the arts.
Yes. Well, my story starts many, many years ago. I am an artist. I am an autodidactic. I started painting after college and kind of found myself through the arts and spent many years, like a decade, doing expositions and everything like that. But there was something missing. There was the principle of wanting to help. There was something about education that was calling me. So life gave me the opportunity to do a master's in education, and I went to live in New York City. But I always used the arts as part of the educational process, of the learning process. After spending 5 years in New York City, I returned to Puerto Rico. And while I was coming back, this wonderful book came into my hands, Art and Healing. And with this book, I learned that I am an expressive arts therapist by nature, because I use all the arts in a way that facilitates expression, individual expression, and not really looking for a particular aesthetics, but really as a means of just letting go emotions and dealing and knowing myself a little bit better. So I took a certification program in South Virginia University and became a educational facilitator of expressive arts therapies. And that's what I've been doing on and off for 15 years.
Nice. And how does healing through the arts work? I mean, because I know that many people have heard about this activity that we can do that is using the arts so that we can heal some things. But what exactly do we heal and how does it work?
Okay, expressive art therapies can help in many areas, including education. But as a healing modality, what it does is it gives a safe container for you to express your things that maybe through words can't be expressed. Maybe you don't even have them that much in conscious, and or they're very deep down and buried. So what we want to do is, through embodying activities and no verbal activities, express our emotions or situations. And once we can get them out in the open in a very caring and empathetic and compassionate environment, with no stress of time or not the pressure of creating something, once you have those two things on the side, usually people can really get into the creative flow and just create and just do. Even marks can help people. And with a facilitator or with a psychologist that specializes in art therapy, we can help the person go through a process that accesses those emotions, lets them release it, and then finally, after a while, after that process, we can see things that usually we thought maybe were hard or even traumatic, and we can see the learning or the golden seed of each situation. And that's how we heal through the arts.
Okay. So a person who is maybe going to a psychologist and he is taking therapy because he has maybe a situation or emotion or something happened in his life, he can go through also the what is the therapy of healing or the healing of through the arts. And how can you combine that with a person who is already going through a process with a psychologist?
Yes, very good question. Actually, I do that a lot. I work with psychologists most of the time in combination. And that's very important to have a psychologist that's open-minded to these therapies, to these alternative and complementary therapies. So there's no thing that one is either or. Definitely work great together. um, what I have a person that comes to mind that has PTSD, actually a woman that has gone through domestic violence and is going through therapy with a psychologist, and came to me to heal a little bit more. We go a little bit deeper, and even though I'm not a psychologist, but I have a lot of experience helping people, facilitating these type of processes, it just clicked. So yes, you can work with a psychologist, that's an art therapist, or you can come to an expressive arts educational facilitator as well to help you with your issues. And if there's necessity to further the therapy with the psychologist, I always refer. So yes, we can work in combination.
Okay, so now let's get a little bit deeper. What
Okay.
exactly you do, or what are the techniques that you use to heal a person through the art?
Okay, I don't heal anybody. Okay, first of all, that's
Okay.
very important to say, because
Mhm.
we say healing as in the taking you through the process of the person that's going through the experience, to start dialoguing with their pain, with their symptoms, because we understand that the body keeps the score. That's a
Mhm.
great book that I recommend highly, by the psychologist that explains all the science behind this. This is not woo-woo, this is science. So what I do is I take you through a process that first, sometimes I have to show people, first of all, we have to go through the barrier of, if you've had any experience, negative experience with the arts, that you there have a small voice saying to yourself that you can't do it. We first have to address that issue. As long as you always have this block that that's not for you, or you still think that there has to do something with talent, yeah, we have to go through that first. Once we establish a safe environment and a place that you understand that the inner critic is going to have to be given a break, that for at least for a moment, then we can start asking the body through visualizations or through breathing, through going in. And it's not a very difficult or a very elaborate meditation in a sense, or visualization, that you just have to go inside and really go into that. For example, if you have a pain here on your shoulder, we look inside and use our imagination, which we all have, and just let an image or a color or a form. And it's very, very easily done. Once we got something, we start with that. And we can make marks on our paper. We can create, sometimes a image comes, and you can even do it with stick figures. It doesn't matter the talent. Just as long as you're connected with the pain or the symptom. Sometimes it's a heartache because you lost somebody. And a lot of our symptoms, even cancer, has been shown that after a while, if you have a lot of stress, a lot of grief for a long period of time, that can create symptoms in your body or conditions in your body. So we want to go inside and deal with that, let's say grief or anger or whatever emotion it was that kind of got stuck there, that we kind of buried it, we put it under the carpet. So we start getting it out. First, we access it, we identify it. That's the first step. Then after we identify it, not me, but the person that's going through the process with my help or with the art therapist's help, then we release it. And that's a very, very powerful moment, because you can do scribbles, you can do marks, you can do what, you can use both hands. And it doesn't really matter the image. It's just the intention that you're putting it on outside of your body on a piece of paper. But it can also be through movement. It can be through a gesture. It can be through a sound. It can be through a writing. It can be through many modalities. Sorry, my thing is moving here. So that is the second step. And then after we've gone through the release, there's usually comes a site of relief, and another type of vision can be, a perspective can be gained. And once we gain a different perspective, we can then re-envision our situation, our pain, our emotion into something more positive. And again, it doesn't come from me or it doesn't come from anybody outside. Everybody is their own interpreter of their images, and they're going to come up again with a maybe another a short visualization where we can even use music or another modality of art and come up with an image that is going to be an empowering image and a revisioning of that negative situation into a positive situation. That becomes an anchor. That becomes a new way of seeing this. And that's why we call it healing, because literally the art process, and it needs like 2 or 3 hours at least. It's not a process that we do like that. It is a process that very organic. But when we finish, the person will leave with another view and another perspective of whatever they're dealing with.
Okay. Well, thanks for the clarification, because I think that many people had that like that word used incorrectly. For example, myself, I thought that it was like you help the people to heal. So I mean, you're like the healing person, but no, it's not that. It's that every person have like their power, you know, their they have the power inside to do that process and go through that process. So nice to be clarified. So you can use drawing, you can use maybe music, you can use, what else can we use to use this therapy?
Okay, we can use, I like to use clay, hand, we can work a lot through clay. This is a wonderful medium. Even again, you don't have to have experience. I give you maybe a very, very short demonstration, but everybody gets to work their own container or whatever they want, depending on the workshop. But I like to use clay because when we can mod and we can really get a lot of emotions out through it. And interestingly enough, the scientific studies show that no matter what type of medium you use, as long as you are focusing and not, focusing on that activity, your mind starts, to release all these worrisome thoughts or mind chatter that we constantly have, especially when we're having situations, stress, problems of life. Mm-hmm. So no matter if you use clay, no matter if you use a movement, you can put music and dance, express yourself through the movements. You can use drawing, you can use collage, you can use paint. I do a painting, which is very easy. And I wanted to show you that you can use like drops of paint and then put another paper on top of it and just like create these textures, which then you can use to continue a painting or even to write an inspiring quote, even scripture. You can use whatever you want as long as you focus on the activity, right? Without the inner critic, without having the stress of having to perform, and just let yourself enjoy the process. And the scientific studies show that any artistic activity that you do between 20, 45 minutes, an hour, it lowers the hormone stress, cortisol, right away. And also helps you produce the happy hormones, oxytocin and dopamine and all these things. You can even sing. Even if you don't sing well, you can sing 20 minutes and it already also is going to give you a lot of beneficial happy hormones. It's going to make you feel better.
Yeah. And so, also, yeah. I mean, I, for example, when I'm very stressed, I use the breathing part, breathe to 10, and I feel that I'm releasing that stress that I have. But I also like to dance. So when I'm very, very stressed, I put on my music, I put on my my earphones and everything, and I start to dance. And that's a way to, like remove that stress that I have in that moment. But I also love to write. So when I'm very stressed, when something happened, I sometimes use a little bit of wine or maybe coffee or tea, and I sit down and I have like 10 or 12 notebooks, and it's writing just to release what I'm thinking or my emotion. And that's part of that healing process, right?
Exactly. Yes. Writing or journaling is a very important part, because that's how you're going to be dialoguing with your images, because it's not only about putting something out. Then we have questions, and the one important question is that you can use anybody with, right now, whatever you make at the end, look, put it out, look at it with new eyes after you have created it, and then ask it, image, what if you could speak, what message could you tell me? And then you just kind of write what comes to your mind, what comes to your heart, really, because we want to connect with our inner, with wise being, let's say. You want to connect with that part of your heart that knows, that kind of intuitively knows. So maybe the colors are saying something to you. What does the color mean? What surprised you about the image? What you don't like about the image? And you can just journal it. You can just write it. And actually, yes, I recommend keeping a notebook and just write everything out. You can write poems, you can write stories, you can just vent. And that's very, very important. Don't keep it inside. Whatever you do, whatever art modality you're comfortable with, use it.
Nice, very nice. So, what advice can you give to a person that is still like thinking, okay, can I really heal through the arts? And how can you tell a person that, yes, this is possible and I have this opportunity for you?
Yes. Well, really, if you're curious about the process first, if you're open-minded to learn new things and to go inside, not to be afraid that everything can be resolved, and that there are many ways, that there's many online courses that you can take as well if you don't find an art therapist or expressive arts facilitator in your area. There's a lot of options out there. So I encourage you to research, to there's videos, there's um, websites that you can go. My own website is Sanarte con Arte. I'm sure you'll include it later. And you can work through with, I can work with people through Zoom as well, if you're not in Puerto Rico. But go ahead and get into the world of the expressive arts, because it's really a wonderful um, tool to help anybody who is willing to go inside of themselves and to learn, know themselves a little bit better.
Okay, so do you have like a center where you have people or an office, or do you do this only by one person at a time or for groups? How do you work this?
Okay, I can do, I do group workshops around the island in different healing medical centers. It's been a project already with together with a psychologist that we started 14 years ago. But since 2 years ago, I opened an expressive art studio in Rio Grande, Puerto Rico. That's close to El Yunque, our sacred mountain. And I can work one-on-one, or I have small groups, no more than 5 people. But I also can work through Zoom. Not all the workshops can be done through Zoom, but there's a basic ones that I can definitely facilitate virtually. So you can also go into my web page is www.sanarteconarte.com, which is the same name, Facebook, Sanarte con Arte, and in Instagram all together. Maybe you can put the words
Yeah,
in
I
because
will.
it's in Spanish, but translates healing arts. So there's always a way to contact me. And if you have any questions, I'm really happy to answer any question that you have about the expressive arts therapies.
Very nice. Last things that you wanted to say about your experience, or what motivated you, or how do you love helping other people?
Well, the expressive arts really gives me an opportunity always to maintain my emotions, the situation. So even though I've been doing this for so many years, I still have my own journal. Now my journal is a visual journal, so it's kind of big, and I can do the writing, and I can do also collage, and I always have a journal and a notebook as well, always going on with me. So that's very important, because not only do I help people doing what I know works for me and has worked for me in all situations of life, because I've gone through death, almost death experience, and the arts helped me heal. I've gone through situations with work, and that's helped me heal. I've gone through grief, losing a loved one, and the arts has helped me heal. So everything I know that has helped me, I can help others as well.
Very nice. So any person who wants to do this, they don't have to be a professional. They don't know how, I mean, they don't need to know how to draw or know the meaning of this. They just need to get into it and start expressing themselves, right?
Yes, the intention is very important. Whatever you do, just connect with your heart, connect with God, connect with Jesus in your heart, and really say, I'm going to do this to heal, help me heal. I mean, spirituality is very important part, and they can connect to nature as well. But the intention, okay, I'm going to go into nature. I want to get inspired. I'm going to listen to this music, and I'm going to intend to let go of my worries for 5, 10, 15 minutes, whatever you can give, whatever you have. So do this continuously, and it's going to help you express your emotions and feel better.
Nice. I use the beach. I like to go to the beach and just sit down right there and hear the waves and the beers and everything. I just love to be in the beach. So that for me is one of my therapy, just to also let go and just try to feel better. So I mean, we are here in the island, so we enjoy that. But whoever is in the states, still there's a lot of nature surrounding you. So you can go to a place where you can feel that contact with the nature and just try to release, right?
Exactly. That's called nature-based expressive arts therapies. And there's nothing really that new about. We all know how nature heals and makes us feel connected to our creator. So yes, use nature whenever you can, and walk barefoot and hug trees and smell
Yeah.
the flowers.
I just love that. Lisa, again, where people can contact you.
Yes, please contact me through any of my social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Sanarte con Arte. And there's my phone number. Also, it's not a secret. So if you want to give me a call, I would love to talk to you about a little bit more about the expressive arts therapy. You want to end up with a song?
Oh, yes, please.
Okay, great. I got this song. It's very, I always like to end all the sessions with a little positive song that you can then learn and sing to yourself. And you're gonna like this one. It's very easy. We can do it together. It's like, I have the power, you have the power, we have the positive power inside. And we're
Okay.
gonna repeat it 3 times, okay?
Okay.
Ready?
Ready.
So let's sing it. Everybody out there, sing it with us. I
I
have the power, you have the power, we have the positive power inside. I
Yes.
have the power, you have the power, we have the positive power inside. I
I
have the
have the
power,
power.
you
You
have
have
the
the
power, we
power.
have the positive power inside. I have the power, you have the power, we have the positive power inside.
Woohoo!
All
Nice.
right.
Very nice. Very nice. We do have the power. Oh, yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
Lisa, I enjoy so much having you here today. I'm so glad what you're doing, and I just wish you the best and that you can keep on helping many, many, many people.
Yes. Awesome. Thank you for having me, Nancy. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
And big kisses and hugs from Puerto Rico.
Yay! See you then. Thank you. And I'll see
Thank
you
you.
next Thursday.